Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Orion Spear Point. So I wanted to come on for the 6-9 portal, basically, and a lot is moving with all this. It's a busy day for me, just getting ready. There's a lot of little chores. It just feels like a busy day in the energies. Like there's not so much stressful, it's just that there's a lot of movement. So I could see that reflective just because there's a lot of chores for the property. On top of that, just getting ready for the coming pilgrimage. So um wanted to come on. This will be yeah, this will be a kind of like a meeting point between the two collectives. So the divine masculine and divine feminine meeting point. So this definitely feels like what's going on today. There's been a lot of different signs and a lot of different movement between the two. So a lot of just peering around trees and rocks and looking at one another. So it's very interesting to feel it in the energies. So I'll jump in. The the thing that I thought was very interesting was that today feels like a check-in, basically. Like it's not so much a merge point as it is kind of like a familiarity point. Like it's kind of like checking in both sides, seeing how the other is. What I thought was very interesting was that there was, because there's so much movement today, it feels like it's the continuation of this movement, masculine, feminine, just the field in general. There's so much movement that it accelerates the charge. So I just feel like when I feel that energy, just walking the walk within the movement, like I can actually feel the electricity run through my body. And I'm just like, oh, that's the buildup. Um, and then the movement between masculine and feminine, how I always, there it is, how I always felt it was there was, there's kind of multiple shared spaces. And this is what's very interesting. So one of the shared spaces that I was aware of was in the stars. So I called it a nebula, right? So it was a shared space between masculine and feminine. And you can feel that. And this home, basically, where the both energies can come in and meet. Very, very high frequency. A lot of directions were given from that place. And then what's interesting is that from this place, I was sent off to the core of the sun. And that energy going into the core of our sun and then feeling it. And it felt very masculine to me, like the true essence of the masculine energy, right? So, and then all the solar flares that have been happening, like all the activations that have come from those, that ray of light emanating from that to activate the cells to get things moving. And actually, the connection to the spark of life, I can see that right now. So it's kind of like that union wave I talked about before. I feel like that almost comes from, yes, it comes from the core of the universe, but it also like the the acceleration into the physical feels like the generator comes from the sun, basically, with those solar flares. So shooting off into the core of the planet, or the core of the sun, because we'll get to the core of the planet. The core of the sun was another meeting point. And it was like becoming aware of that because it was the meeting point between masculine and feminine, those energies, right? Those internal energies within your own stream, but also like it's the shared space between divine masculine and divine feminine. Like there is a shared space within that huge body. And then, so it was the meeting point between the nebula to the sun. So I'll even generalize it a little bit more. So the stars in general, the meeting point in the cosmic high energies grounded into the meeting point, the shared space, that's more accurate, the shared space within the sun, and then following it, and then the shared space in the earth. And it was fun to see it because it was more than it wasn't like a downgrade of energies. It was like a connection point between all three. And it was the joining of the shared spaces within all of this. And each one had had different codes and different frequencies, but the theme was the same. It was the shared space between masculine and feminine, internal, external, the counterpart, the all of it. It was the place of the meeting point. It was the environment of the shared space to come in, but it was also like as much as masculine and feminine can enter each and every space because it's shared, it's the meeting point within this because it could hold so much energy. It's a node on the big electrical circuit board of energy. More than that, it was the place for love itself to enter from divine. And that's actually what allowed that river to run through all of these and where the life itself was growing. And the meeting point between them was meeting in that love, basically. So the shared space, like this has not been unusual to feel this and see this. What I thought was very interesting was that it was the three different shared spaces between three different energies that was actually the joining of all of them, that was activating the meeting point between masculine and feminine and accelerating the process. So it was feeling that amount of energy build, brighten, heat up, and also seeing, acknowledging the love from divine as it was entering all those spaces. And then walking in was the only way you can walk in is with your love. Not your love for anybody else, but your love, simply put. And that was the, ooh, that's so fun. Okay. When you walk in, it's like the childhood joy. And that's the same thing that I said in the last video was the reconnection to the adventure, because you have your sight on the spark of life and it's the excitement of all of it. But it's also like so much coming in to meet and accelerate and join and continue, that this meeting point is the merge of the meeting points, the merge of the shared spaces. I'll get the right words because there's still something unraveling with that. But that was almost, there's a reason why. So we can talk about it like the divine masculine and divine feminine have been separate, right? We can like you can see this within the counterparts within your own internal energies. There's so much with it, the distance between the two, right? This is the foundation of a lot of it. Then also these fragmentations of the same energy split apart, which is the shared space, which is also the meeting point. It would make sense to divide the two energies further from even co-creating together. Of course, you can't do that completely, but to muddy the waters, you would have to fragment the shared energies so that when the really high energy, the deep energy, the true energy from everything, when that really activates, it has to kind of circulate through so much other things, which makes sense because it's tiring. I can feel that within my system because it's just like, oh, that makes so much sense. So it's actually merging the shared spaces throughout all the energies that allows it to actually circulate faster. It's a meeting point that's more direct, more succinct, and the buildup of energy can build up even more. So it's actually breaking into, building into, what's the right words? Because it's not build, it's not breaking, transform into the physical reality, or more accurately, the physical reality has to meet and meet it. Okay. So follow the river. Oh, okay. So to continue with this process, because I was wondering when that was going to show up. To continue with this process, it's following the pour of love from divine, love itself that pours into the shared space, and then following that and seeing how it does it, and then following where the shared spaces connect. And it's actually merging the waters together. Oh, wow. Or the stream, the flow. There it is, the flow. Okay. Always so fun. And it's no accident that happens on today because it's like the inversion, the 6-9. Yeah. Okay. Always so fun. So I will leave it here. Um, I blocked out my schedule again from the 11th to the 27th. So hopefully more videos come up. I'll put my all the info down below, and to the adventure, to the excitement and all of this. And I've got winds of change and some lightnings coming in. So always fun. With that, Connor, I give you a lot of love, my own love, to feel it and be it. And I give you a lot of love. Shine bright.